Well, hey everybody, Colin here once again, and today's theme is Bigfoot, Lost in Manhattan. I was excited to do this one because you know Bigfoot, he's a friend of the show, one of my favorite subjects, always fun to talk about, always fun to draw. Let's see what kind of wacky shenanigans he's getting up to today. As you can see, I have that nice Manhattan skyline kind of put in the back there. My idea was that good old Bigfoot made his way into Central Park and started to wreak a bunch of havoc. I mean, that's really all there is to it, but I thought it would be fun to draw, add some blood, add some gore, have some fun with it. New York City is a place I've only been to a handful of times in my life. I'd love to go more, but just hasn't been in the cards. But it's been in a ton of movies and a ton of media. If you remember way back to day 8, I think, I drew Baxter Stockman and the Ninja Turtles. Yep, New York City right there. But I mean, even more than that, you've got famously King Kong was in New York City climbing the Empire State Building. Other big monsters, you've got the giant claw landing on the Chrysler Building. Also in the Chrysler Building, you've got Q, the winged serpent. Man, you've got the Chuds live in the New York City sewers. Jason once went to Manhattan. And just like Jason, the only way they can stop Bigfoot is by luring him to sewers at midnight where they flood it with nuclear waste for some unknown reason. Yeah, ton of movies, ton of stuff set in good old New York City. If you're a Marvel movie fan, I mean, New York City features very prominently in the first Avengers movie. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, something about it, something about the Big Apple, you know, that gets people's motors running. I guess maybe it's because so many people live in that city. You know, it's such a huge melting pot, tons of people, a lot of interesting architecture and stuff like that. So kind of fascinating. I'm happy to be drawing Bigfoot invading. I do like the juxtaposition too of it's a big city, very urban, big sprawl and everything. And this creature from the wild seems to invade. And, you know, it probably isn't going to go too well. I mean, Bigfoot's probably just scared and all these pictures want to take selfies with him. And yeah, so he's going to start ripping heads off. Makes perfect sense to me. In terms of the drawing there, I'm kind of putting in the skyline in kind of various muted tones. I kept the sky pretty blue. I wanted to make it a nice sunny day, and we're going to put a sun in near the end here, just brilliantly shining down. The buildings are kind of at weird angles. I decided to go a little bit artsy with this rather than absolutely strict and straightforward, as the buildings in the background are just to give you impression that it is a city. The main star, the main focus is Bigfoot, front and center. And to that end, you know, I spent the most time on him. When I get into the inking here very, very soon, you're going to see that I kind of save Bigfoot for last. I do all these little finicky details with the multi-liners, the fine lines in the background, and then Bigfoot's put in straight in with a brush, his inks. I think that way they stand out, and the focus is squarely on the big Footman there. And I kind of wanted the background to also recede into dark, so you just see the terrified crowd kind of poking out, kind of the darkness, as it were, and not be too colorful or too bright or anything like that. The Madman Mars piece with the, not Madman Mars, but the guy with the axe, he looks like Madman Mars. That one for, I can't remember what day that was, but it's the same kind of thing. You don't want those people in the background to take attention away, but you still want them to be there. Bigfoot himself, I decided to make kind of larger than life, of course. I mean, his hand on that dude's shoulder is ginormous, but that's kind of how I imagine Bigfoot to be, you know, kind of a big creature, and definitely larger than life and twice as ugly. But that's okay. We love Bigfoot here. He's probably, I don't know, one of my favorite cryptids. I'd say top 5 at least. You guys know I love the Mothman, but man, I love my Bigfoot too. I have to wonder then if there's ever been any Bigfoot sightings in New York City or any urban environment. I mean, with all the different Bigfoot sightings out in the woods and stuff like that, you have to wonder if somebody just is like, dude, I saw Bigfoot. He was riding the subway or whatever. Probably, but that guy was probably also on like bath salts or something. So who knows what the truth is. Either way, I digress. As you can see, I'm getting in Bigfoot here with the brush pen just to make his ink stand out a lot more, making that fur kind of pop. And I took a lot of time on his face just to make it just right and give him that nice sense of menace there. In the background, the dude is taking, photos with a cell phone because that's the world we live in, folks. And this poor guy who's getting his head ripped off, I really wanted to give him a nice surprise expression, like, whoa, I did not expect Bigfoot to just rip my head right the heck off of my body. But it's all good. I decided to go with a little bit of some Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero-ness or even Predator-ness and have a little bit of spine hanging down there. I think that adds just a little touch of class to the proceedings. What do you guys think? Touch up the blood. We're going to add in a couple of white highlights, especially in that sun there to make it look bright. And let's look at the scan. Right on, guys. Don't mess with Bigfoot. When he's out of his element, he gets mean. The I Love New York t-shirt tells you where we're at, New York or any other city this guy went to with that t-shirt on. And I don't know, I just had a ton of fun with this. It's always fun to just draw a wacky picture like this, filled with monster shenanigans, some blood, and, crazy, scared people. Hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it and talking about it. And like I said before, if you're ever in New York City and you see a Bigfoot in Central Park, just like most wildlife, you should probably leave him alone. That's all for now, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Goodbye.